It's time for Tubi Tuesday, and today we're going to talk about the movie Jawbreaker. That's right, Jawbreaker from 1999, starring Rose McGowan, Rebecca Gayheart, Julie Benz, and Judy Greer, unexpectedly, and a bunch of other cameos that I did not expect either. Go ahead, say it. Scotty, this is a chick flick. What? Yeah, but yeah, I, but I just, yeah. But here's the thing, okay? I thought my Xbox turned off. I thought I heard the bling. So here's the situation, okay? Many moons ago, back when I was younger, I stumbled across this movie. So, as I mentioned before, I would stay up late at my grandma's house, watch movies on the cable. That's how I found movies like Go and probably several other movies. There's still one movie I get to track down. It's these two couples. They're at a restaurant or something, and this one guy he's kind of fat. He's got his hair and a beard. He and his girlfriend or wife, they go into the bathroom and do it. I still have been trying to figure out what movie that was. That's all I remember from it. Anyway, I was watching some movie, maybe that one, I don't know, but I was watching a movie, and after that was done, this came on. No idea what it was. It just started with the opening scene, and I was floored. I did not watch the rest of the movie. I was floored. I was like, what, huh? Yeah. The story of this is that three friends are helping their other friend, named Liz, celebrate her 17th birthday. To do that, they pretend to kidnap her and throw her in the back of the trunk. Unbeknownst to two of the other friends, Courtney has thrown a jawbreaker in her mouth, which causes her to choke to death in the back trunk. She's all bound and gagged. She's bound and she's got the duct tape, and you're supposed to put a sock in their mouth, not a jawbreaker. She ends up dead. So the whole movie is trying to keep things covered up, and then these girls' friendship just breaking down. This is girlfriend. Yes, this is girlfriends. This is Mean Girls meets Heathers. This was inspired by Heathers, by the way. Getting to see that movie, but I hear it's something of a sort of in the similar vein of killing people, I guess. But this one, the death is an accident, but it's made worse as the movie goes along. It's my belly, but yeah. So we start off the movie, and like the cover of this has the three main girls. They were very popular actresses at this point in 1999. Rose McGowan had been in Scream. Julie Benz had been on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Uh, Becky Gayheart had just been in Urban Legend. So they were pretty popular girls, you know. And yeah, they unite a friend. They do the thing like I said, and they find her dead. They take a picture of it, and then Courtney drops the camera, breaking it everywhere, and we get the title card. And then we get a narration by someone who I immediately realized was Judy Greer, who is also in 13 Going on 30, as well as recent Halloween films. So yeah, and she's in this movie. I didn't see that coming. I knew the three main cast members. That's it. But we got cameos from. Really, we got the principal is Jane. 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 She was in Scrooged. My Christmas stuff's all the way up there. But she was in Scrooged. What's her name? She's the Karen? Carol Kane. There it is. Kane, not Jane. Kane. Carol Kane is the principal, who at points, when she's got her hair up with the glasses, looks like the mom from Lizzie McGuire, but it's not. It's Carol Kane. The detective coming in is played by Pam Grier, and I feel like this detective isn't in the movie enough. There's a few scenes where she's interrogating the students and she disappears, and it's not at the end of the movie. Like, I don't know. And Marilyn Manson, who was dating Rose McGowan, you might remember him from The Wonder Years. Anyway, he plays the character we'll talk about later. I can't really say. Okay, it is a joke. Don't get all hate commenting on me. He wasn't the guy from the Wonder. I know he wasn't the guy from the Wonder Years. It's a joke. There's an urban legend that Paul from the Wonder Years grew up to be Marilyn Manson. It's not true in any way whatsoever, but I like to make that joke. Hey, I remember Marilyn Manson. I met him in the Wonder Years, But, yeah. So, here's the situation. They decided to stage it as a murder. Like, she was sexually assaulted and murdered in her house because her parents are out. Because, of course, movies like this, their parents are always out of town when stuff happens. Like, Scream is a great example. Dad's going out of town. Things happen, but he never actually does go out of town. That's the thing. But anyway, he doesn't make it, Spoilers. Something happens to him. He doesn't die, but, kidnapped. Anyway, so we get a narration from Judy Greer. She plays Fern. Obviously, she's got a lesbian crush. I don't know. That sounds like something from like Juno. You're so lesbian gay, or that was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. You're so lesbian gay. Yeah, she has like a crush on her. You can tell. She's the only one that's been nice to her. But so they make like their biggest mistake. Like they decide after the fact, but it's like we have to call in sick for her. So Courtney pretends to be her mom and call in sick for Liz. And as soon as they decided, we gotta make it look like she was sexually assaulted and murdered, they used the R word. I don't want to say it. And I'm just like, but you already called in sick for her. Don't you think that's gonna come up? And it does, because when Pam Grier shows up as the cop, the detective, she's like, somebody called in sick for her that day. Her mother says it wasn't her. Yeah, they didn't really think about that. I should also mention, when they're in the room trying to set up this crime scene, they're not wearing gloves. They're messing with this corpse. Their fingerprints will be all over the goddamn place. These 3 chicks should be in jail right away. Their fingerprints will be everywhere. Everywhere. They touched everything. I'm just saying, I've watched a lot of cop procedural shows, and I know that fingerprints are damning when it comes to cases like this. They find fingerprints, your ass is going to jail. So all 3 of them chicks should be in jail. I'm just saying, they're 17, which makes what happens later very awkward. Anyway, so, yeah, they're 17 being played by, 25-year-olds, which, certain things have come to light about kids on TV shows. You want to go for it. But I would go for someone who's, 18, 19, not someone in their mid-20s. There's a scene where Julie Benz is sitting next to her dad, played by Jeff Conaway. Jeff Conaway was in his 40s, maybe almost 50 at this point. And they're sitting there, she calls him dad, and I'm like, it feels like they're married, not like, I don't buy Julie Benz as his daughter. I don't. Eric, go away, please. Thank you. Calls me when I'm in the middle of the review, because he didn't know that, but anyway. So, yeah, and during this, they're fidgeting with everything, and there's this gift card that I didn't know existed in 1999. I know it exists now, and after that, but, it's one where you can press the button and record stuff. And so he's messing with it. What are you guys doing to me? What are you doing to me? I like how she pushes it right when they go to take her panties off because they're trying to make it look like she was sexually assaulted. So they're doing that. And what are you doing to me? Huh? And she's got the card. And during this exchange, Courtney says, I killed Liz. I killed the teen dream. Deal with it. Remember that line. Remember that line. Just remember that. So, when they fake called as Liz's mom, they asked if one of her girlfriends could take her homework. Well, Courtney forgot to go get the homework, so they give it to Fern, who happens to find out what happened, and instead of going to the cops like she should, because the movie would be over, they coerce her into joining their clique. Hey, she's gone. We need someone in her place. And so they dress her up all nice and fancy and change her name to Violet with a Y. Miss Violet with a Y. And you would have gotten a queen-size bed, but it's tomorrow, and we out, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, what's the I stand for? I need a bigger bed. No, there you go. Also, I want to point out the use of this song that you probably know more from Not Another Teen Movie, but I think, like, you know how in movies they show, like, that shot of, like, static hallway and then the girl's walking all sexy, that type of thing. But the song that plays, I know from Not Another Teen Movie, and I think maybe they borrowed it from this movie to kind of make it their parody of this, even though they don't talk about it. But, like, it's that I do, that song. Like, it's used a couple times during this. So, as soon as they recruit Fern, Julie, who's played by Rebecca Gayheart, sort of moves away from the group. And what I like is that as soon as she moves away from the group, she starts acting and dressing differently. She has less makeup, less, slutty clothes, for lack of a better term. That sort of thing. But yeah, and she ends up getting a boyfriend named Zach, who I thought they were together at first, but after looking it up, they know they meet after the fact. But they get together. She named Zach, and if anything, like, you have well-known female stars, but the two male leads in this, I call them male leads, but the two prominent male characters, Zach and Dane, are played by nobody actors I've never seen before. Like, this was the late 90s when getting these hot, like, good-looking actors and actresses, like, you couldn't get, like, a Freddie Prinze Jr., or maybe not for a bit part, I guess. The roles are kind of, but, like, I'm just looking at these guys, I'm like, I'm looking at this guy who plays, lost his name. Zach. He's a Lego maniac. No, look at this guy who plays Zach. And I'm thinking, what about that guy from American Werewolf in Paris? The friend with the hair that goes like that. You know what I mean? That guy. Give it to him. They're around the same age, Or even get Tom Everett Scott. I don't know. By Dane. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, you have prominent female leads played by prominent female actors, and you have two Joe Blow nobodies as the guys. Like, I know they're not important characters, really, but Zach is important to the climax of the film. Dane has a couple scenes. Maybe they couldn't find... Who wouldn't want to do a scene where you're licking a popsicle while Rebecca Gayheart is going down on you? Well, pretending to go down on you, you know what I mean? But yeah, so, not Rebecca Gayheart, Rose McGowan. So also, Rose McGowan tells the story of what might have happened, that Liz liked to hook up with older men, just random hookups. So we get the Marilyn Manson cameo, who I didn't realize was Marilyn Manson at first. And I'm like, oh, that's, okay. I'm like, where was Marilyn Manson in this? And I looked at him like, oh, he was that guy. Now, the people I said, well, this poor guy, but he's not really that innocent of a person. Because, like, okay, so she has sex with him on this bed to make it look like it was a sexual assault, right? I don't know how that works, but she does. It's Liz's bed. The parents still weren't there, so it was like right after. It was like right after this. She had to figure. So she had this plan set up, make it look like that. So, yeah. And so they say this guy gets arrested, and it's like people might watch to go, "Oh, the poor guy," and I'm like, "Poor guy." He still had sex with a 17-year-old, technically. And I know in some states that's the legal age of consent. But I don't know what state this takes place in, and you don't know if that's the legal age of consent, so I don't know. I'm just saying that's, still underage. I'm just saying. And if you really think about, the story they're trying to tell, Liz just turned 17, right? She's only 17 when she died. So anything before this, she would have been 16. So she's 16 years old trying to hook up with these random guys. They're trying to say. Of course, it's not true. But anyway. And basically, Julie has distanced herself from the group. She wants nothing to do with it anymore. Marcy is the yes girl. She's the one. She basically, if I remember correctly, what's her face? She was in another team movie in Lost in Space. I'm thinking of. She just did a bunch of Hallmark movies. I think, wasn't she the second in command of the Plastics and Mean Girls? It's been years since I ever watched that movie. I don't know. They chose predominantly female type chick flicks when we went on field trips with our special ed class, because there was a lot of girls. I seen part of it. I think my sister watched it too. I don't know. Anyway, I remember Lizzie Lohan said, "Where's Meg Adams?" But anyway, so Julie confides in Zach, and he doesn't dump her ass right away. And Violet becomes very popular. So popular, in fact, that she eclipses Courtney. And we cannot have that, so Courtney exposes her for who she is. Yeah. And that comes crashing down. And so, yeah, that's out. And so it all comes together at the prom, where I have an issue. So, Zach has the idea to let's go to prom and get some pig's blood, Carrie, huh? But then no, and then we cut to everyone's at the prom, and then all of a sudden it's very weird editing. Okay, so they were just talking, and then it cuts to the prom. It shows everyone arriving. But anyway, Tatiana Ali has a cameo in this too. Ashley from Fresh Prince. She doesn't have much to do in this movie. I don't know what their character's supposed to be, but I don't know. But so she's with Fern and Zach at this point, and Julie says, they say, Zach's like, hey, let's go and crash the, no, that's not. She goes home, and her mom brings in this stuff. It's a bunch of stuff from Liz's room that is being given to her, and not Courtney, who's supposed to be the prominent friend, but no, it goes to Julie because plot convenience. And in there, she finds the card, and she finds out that actually she was recording when Courtney said, "I killed Liz. I killed the teenage dream. Deal with it." So she concocts a plan. She immediately runs out of the room, and we cut back to the prom, and then the three of them, the three being Julie, Fern, and Zach, arrive and immediately set up the plan. And I'm like, wait, you know how long it would actually take to get a hold of both of them? Get them together, they both have to drive to one location. Did they all drive to the same location? I don't think Fern had a car. She was walking earlier. So they have to go pick people up, I think. And, because I think Zach would have to go pick Fern and Julie up. And then they'd have to come up with the idea of what they're going to do. And even if they know how to do it, and then go there. It's a lot of planning, a lot of stuff to do. It's edited very quickly. But Zach goes and hook the thing up. And also at this prom, we see a cameo from Lisa Robin Kelly. Rest in peace. Excuse me. She was Eric's sister. I can't remember her name. On That 70s Show. What was her name? I don't remember her name. I can't remember it. But yeah, Eric's sister. I'm like, hey, how do I know her? And then when she started talking, I'm like, oh, that's Eric's sister from. Yeah. So she has a little cameo there. I don't think she's in the rest of the movie. I think just where she just shows up. Anyway, they announced the king and the queen, the prom king and the queen, and Dane gets king, of course. And there's a part where they cut to Julie and Fern, and they're like praying. I'm like, are they trying to pray for Fern to win? No, I caught it later. They are praying that Courtney wins so that this works. Well, of course Courtney was gonna win, but dry skin. It's bugging me. Skin is irritation, actually. It's skin irritation. Anyway, so she goes up to give her speech, and then he plays it. Repeats over and over again. I'm like, it's a very small line. You can only record so much on there, but yeah, it's quick, lines, and everyone hears it, and they start throwing their corsages at her. And at first I thought, one got stuck on her arm, but I'm like, no, dumbass, that's the one she's wearing. But yeah, Dane fucks off. He's like, no, I'm going to do with you. He runs off, and then everybody starts throwing corsages. And then she's all messed up. She undoes her hair. She's all messed up. And then at the end, Julie's there, and she's like, smile, takes a picture. And the movie just ends. And I'm like, wait, where did the detective chick go? This whole case, she was trying to figure out who did it. Why wasn't she in more of this movie? Why isn't she... If now you may be saying, well, why would she be there? Well, think about it. It's a prom. It's a big thing. Pretty much everybody's going to be there in one place. If I were a cop, I'd be there to kind of give some last minute questioning, so everybody that's there go through, talk to them. Had a place staked out. I mean, they have a suspect, sure. That's probably why she's not there. But still, I don't know. It just feels off. Or maybe you have one of them call the cop and do an anonymous tip. The guy's not the one who killed it. It's somebody who's going to be at the prom, and they show up looking around and hear that and arrest her. And then you take the picture when she's being arrested and put it in a yearbook. Not that they would allow that in a yearbook, but I'm just saying, there, I fixed the ending. The end of this movie. That's the only big issue I have is the ending. Is like, why isn't... I get they're she's embarrassed now. She's not going to be popular anymore, but she needs to get arrested. I mean, come on. I was going to give this a low, pretty good. It's very low. But I enjoyed this. In a way, it's kind of kooky. I didn't expect it to be. There are times where there are transitions that make them, and there's weird sounds here and there, weird sound effects. I don't know. It's a goofy kind of movie, but it's well done. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on Jawbreaker? So much like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.